Um, how do I say this without sounding very awkward? But it's kind of complicated, but it's kind of not. But let's just say that TxT's Deja Vu happens to be one of my favorite songs coming out of 2024, except for the fact that I got around to listen to it in January, in the early weeks of January, I think. That's pretty funny because, at that point, it was a new year. I mean, you can discover music at any time, but, you know, and at this point, because I think I've written this part of the script quite early on, and I take weeks to write scripts now because I speak in my videos, but at this point, I've only known about this song, fully known about this song, for a couple weeks now, and that's pretty interesting because I tend to only listen to comebacks. Well, except for my alt groups, but if I casually listen to groups, I tend to listen to comebacks very, very late. Maybe a few weeks, maybe a few months, maybe an entire year, as you can see here. But yeah, I don't really keep up with groups immediately during comebacks, and sometimes it takes a year for me to listen to a song. So, yeah, as you can tell, I love TxT's Deja Vu. I knew that I loved this song right on debut. However, admittedly so, I only heard like snippets of it during like challenges and stuff. But yeah, I love this song, but it also hurts me, so I've decided to talk about it. I will divide this video into 3 parts: the good, the hurt, and the reinvention. So the good, we'll just talk about positive things, my analysis in general. The hurt, because I don't dislike, the flaws I have for the song do not derail me from listening to it. It just sometimes makes me want to shed a tear because I'm like, it's so beautiful. How could they do this to us? That's what I mean by hurt. And then the reinvention, I'll keep it a surprise. So, anyway, let's just talk about this song. So let's focus on the good first. Listen, if you were to take out a dictionary and search up the word angst, this song would be ready for you to play because it. Can I say, like, it makes me feel so sad, and it makes me feel so much anguish because if you don't do any research or do any in-depth analysis on this song, it feels like a cry for help, and the members are able to express that so well. Like, it is so hurtful. It hurts me personally that the members are so good at just expressing pain. Like, it amazes me. But just for us to get on a general level playing field that is relatively the same, so we don't go into this analysis confused. So we have a bit of a base. So I feel like this is a story about someone who was madly in love with their love interest but broke it off out of anxiety or something happened. But then it feels like a rediscovery and a reunification of the love interest and the love interest and the narrator, and it seems that it's a story of finding each other and with the complex idea of deja vu. So actually, when I wrote the script, it was a bit out of order and very, very messy. So I'm just finding the right. Okay, I found it. Okay, let's do this. So I wrote this script out of order. I said that again, but so it might be a little messy because the good section actually took me the longest because the other 2 sections were they came to me relatively a bit more easily, But this one, I felt like I had to use my brain. Not because it was harder to make up good stuff, it was just that the analysis, the content, it was just so rich that you just had to keep on talking. So, in case someone doesn't know what deja vu is, it's basically the illusion of remembering scenes and events when someone experiences something for the first time. And the second meaning would be a feeling that someone has heard or felt something. So, for example, you're standing in the sunset in front of a pink building, okay? That's never happened before, right? You've never seen a pink building in your life because who has there's nothing, right? But then you're standing there and you're seeing a pink building, and then it's like, wait, this has happened before, but it hasn't. It's just the illusion of it. So, I don't know if I explained that correctly or that example was valid. I don't know. I just felt like, I don't know. I'm sorry. But, so, honestly, if I were to tell you the truth, this song was hard to analyze because I was trying to annotate it and I was trying to genuinely, like, understand what was going on, because when you just read and kind of skim through the lyrics, you see a lot of pretty words. And what I mean by pretty, I mean like very, very, very fancy words, very beautiful to listen to, beautiful when they are spoken into poetry. Like that's what I mean by pretty words. And again, you could argue that because the song is originally in Korean, I might have got lost in translation and I kind of maybe have misunderstood. Oh, did you see the Taylor Swift reference? But anyway, I may have like not understood it in its truest form, and I'm not Korean, so, and I don't understand Korean. So I may not have understood or truly been able to grasp its intention. So I made two theories. One is the size of a Twitter post and the other is a literal novel. So we're going to talk about the shorter one first. So remember how I said that I found difficulty in understanding the lyrics? But then that's when it hit me. Maybe I don't understand the lyrics because they're written in such a way that the love interest is supposed to be the one experiencing deja vu. Bear with me. Even though the narrator is saying that they love the love interest and the love interest is like their deja vu, I would like to think that the reason why the lyrics are so confusing is because that the narrator is finding parts of clarity, and at the same time, once they find clarity, there's a bit of clarity within the love interest too, and I think that clarity represents in the lyrics that we do understand. And again, because music's subjective, we have different understandings of what lyrics make sense, or because we may have context or cultural context for a certain part of the song, or maybe like a reference from maybe like a historical or maybe a mythological reference in the song. Maybe you understand a part of the song differently, and you know, the deja vu is basically the lyrics that do make sense. It's almost as if the listener or the love interest is kind of finding clarity and finding memories that did or did not exist. And it's almost as if our listening experience counts on our ability to understand certain part of the lyrics, regardless of what the narrator is telling us. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, let's talk about the big theory that I made. And you know the basic premise that I gave to you of this song? Well, this is going to tear all of that up right in front of your face, because I guess I kind of rewrote the script. Not the script, I kind of provided an even more wackier interpretation of this. But anyway, it feels like the story feels like it's about a person who kind of abandoned their love interest out of fear and anxiety. And it feels like they were entering a new phase in their life, because the narrator refers to abandoning their love interest as like leaving them at the starting line. So that made me think of it as like, hey, it seems like a new phase. But it also suggests that this has happened more than once, and they ran away out of fear countless times. So let's talk about the next line. So the next line talks about Morse code being amidst the ruins of an old promise, which entails to me, because we know that Morse code is basically communication through signals of light and sound, whether that is long or short. It could basically imply that the narrator and the love interest still communicate with each other even after a broken promise, which could imply about how strong the relationship is, and even if it's not romantic, it is still a strong bond. And they're still connected to each other in that sense. So then we go on to see the lines of like how they not knowing why they're in tears. And then the phrase my anamoya. I'm gonna I have practiced this pronunciation so many times and I have forgotten. And if I have said it wrong even here, I am so sorry. But if I forget how to pronounce the word, I'm just going to throw it on screen and we're going to just go with that. So I did some Googling for this word. And apparently it's a word for nostalgia for a time you've never known. And the phrase my anamoya seems to be very interesting, because it feels like the narrator is calling out to their love interest, and they're telling their love interest that they're a part of a time they have never known. I mean, that's how madly in love they are with the love interest. And even if they haven't met each other, or they don't even know each other, they feel connected through nostalgia. Also, it sounds like a way of endearment, like calling out to your lover, like my love or my dear. Like that feels like a term of endearment. The rest of the verse, actually, it's like this song is so sweet. It's like a confession of love, and it's so sweet. But the rest of the verse basically talks about how they're promised to each other and how they made this promise underneath a starlight and in the presence of a dust-piled crown. And that's so interesting to me, because what does a crown have to do with promising a lover for a life of eternity in togetherness? And, unless if you're a king, and it clearly implies that they're not. There's no royalty in this. I had to do some digging. And that's when I did some digging, and I looked up the lyrics for Crown. And that's what I was thinking. Maybe this is referring to Crown. And it's conversation about talking about their loss of identity. Well, the narrators, to specify, I'm talking about Crown. And the narrator in Crown, and how they are suffering a loss of identity, and they're feeling as if they're a monster. And it seems in this song they've come across a savior, or someone who is supportive of them and shows genuine love, and they turn into their love interest. And the horns that were raising out of their head turned into a crown, and it provided a lot of the implications of the horns in Crown gave to me that, like, hey, this is painful. Like, they sounded painful. So I feel like when the love interest came along, that sensation turned into positive things. And it felt like, it felt so relieving for the narrator. Like, it was a freeing experience to be loved. And of course, I know that like, Crown deserves another analysis video, but for now, I feel like Deja Vu was referencing Crown in a way, and it could be a continuation of the storyline that was happening in Crown. It seems that in Crown, the narrator is heavily judged for their identity, and they were, like, treated cruelly for that. And if we were to pick up that narrative that was happening in Crown and then connect it to Deja Vu, I think that pain kind of made the narrator run away. The narrator kind of, like, run away from their relationship because the pain was too much. You know, and the positive sensations of their horns being turned into a crown for the narrators now collecting dust. Now collecting dust. Because it seems that the Deja Vu is basically the narrator reuniting with their love interest. But it happened. So it's not even like Deja Vu, but my theory is, the reason why I'm saying it's Deja Vu is that the narrator lost their memories in something. Like, this is, like, really going to the miraculous ladybug route where, like, Marinette could potentially lose her memories. I've not watched season 6. Or the London special. I gotta catch up on that. But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was so, like, inserting miraculous ladybug into this scenario. I was like, okay, this totally checks. But anyway, where was I? I lost myself in my script. It feels like like they're reuniting and they're, like, finding each other again, and seeing how the context of Deja Vu and how it connects to Crown, it feels like something happened again that created that memory loss, kind of erased their past relationship, and it makes the narrator feel like something that was there, even though they can't fully know about it. Like, they sense it, but they can't know about it. They can't, because they don't have their memories, but they sense it. And then the first verse ends with, once again, with the lines, once again, like a dream carved into my soul, be my eternity, say my name. And once again, it could imply that the relationship is almost kind of renewing and reviving their love, and kind of wanting, even though they don't remember the love interest, they do want the love interest by their side. So the chorus basically continues on, and they're making promises of being together for the rest of eternity, and the narrator will hug and love and be kind of a pillar for the love interest. And as I previously have said, I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I did, how I feel like the narrator kind of lost their memories. Actually, I kind of spoiled this part of the video because I kind of like started ranting, and I realized that I accidentally said what I wanted to say at that time. And basically, the original script, which I messed up myself, basically was giving you a disclaimer that this was going to be really messy and very, very awkward because I was going to give you a theory. And I felt confused on how I was going to present this theory, so that's why I gave this spoiler. So I'm still going to say it because I feel like it kind of builds off of what I originally said. Like, yeah, I know something happened, and that's why the narrator lost their memories, and, you know, it seems that, they were in a relationship, and something happened, and this is, like, the first time they found love. And, again, we've mentioned in the beginning that the narrator ran away, and something kind of happened, you know. I don't know, we don't know what happened, but I know that they lost their memories. But right now, all I can think about is, like, a miraculous ladybug, and, like, if it's a scenario like that. But, like, that's a really far-fetched thing to say, but I just have to say it because that's just all I'm thinking about. So I think the first time they found love is during the timeline of when Crown was happening, and they found each other once again in Deja Vu, and it's almost like a retelling of how they found love, but it's a bit different because there's different circumstances now, and it's almost as if falling in love, and it seems like they're like, the deja vu to them is like the old memories that they had with their love interest, but they don't know if it happened, but it has, but they don't know that. So I feel like that was the theory I was trying to go with. I don't know. The thing is, right now, I have recorded this video on several separate days, so sometimes I don't remember what I recorded, but I feel like it's best to kind of reiterate, you know. But anyway, let's move on to verse 2, because I feel like this video is going to be a long one, so I better lock in and just narrate properly. But anyway, verse 2 talks about how the rain is kind of burning the narrator, and I feel like it's implying that they're in anguish, and it seems that the love interest has found the narrator in some kind of tragic state, because it seems that they've had a very long journey together, and, like, they've kind of almost bonded over sadness and pain, and that, like, sense of sadness almost helped them to bring some kind of clarity, and the love interest tears almost kind of provoke that clarity for the narrator. And the narrator, sometimes I feel like I eat up the syllables and words. I'm sorry. Maybe the love interest is upset because the person they loved has kind of... Did I say narrator? I'm going to restart the sentence. Maybe the love interest is upset because the person they fell in love with, and what we're theorizing to be is, like, start a new life with, has left them and now doesn't even remember them. And it seems that the narrator kind of has an understanding that they're meant to be with their love interest, but they know that they're struggling, and I feel like they're getting some hints that they know something happened in between them in the past, even though their memories are, like, acting as deja vu rather than actual memories, and it kind of shows how much of a, not communication gap, but, like, how much of a distance this situation has created between the love interest and the narrator. And it hurts because it seems that the narrator is kind of blaming themselves for everything that's happening, and it seems that they're hurt because their love interest is in pain, and it's so heartbreaking because one of them is in physical pain, and the other one is in emotional pain, and it just feels so angsty when you, like, think about the scenario quite deeply, and, you know, it just hurts. before I bore you with all this angst, I want to move on to the next chorus, which repeats itself, but the last chorus is a little bit different, because I think the narrator is recovering their memories, and it seems that they have fallen completely back in love with the love interest, and they're so madly in love that, you know, they would get married, and like, it seems like they want to love their love interest as if they were a bride. And for a lot of people, marriage is a kind of a way to profess their love, and to show the most ultimate way, is almost like the most ultimate way to further their love. You know, it's kind of like symbol of eternity. So that's beautiful. I mean, the way the members use their vocals, it makes this part of the song very, very beautiful to listen to. So when I close my eyes, I just feel so satisfied. And, you know, that's the entire meaning of the song for me. One tidbit that I want to add, because I didn't know where this could fit, but you know how I kind of explained how, like, some songs feel in my head, or, you know, how they might look in my head, and especially in the Kai video, I did that, but this time, when I close my eyes, the song feels industrial, but it's exiting out of that environment into nature, and it's finding its way back to nature. It feels like a factory worker who's been dirtied with grease and dust, and they're leaving their shift, and it feels like they're walking to the sunset, and they've kind of collapsed into the bed of flowers and resting as if this is their first time taking in nature. And it's so... This song is so beautiful to listen to. I feel like I don't have enough words, because sometimes words aren't enough. And sometimes I feel like even when I've written my best, I feel like I haven't explained how I truly feel about this song, or anything that I analyze, but enough about me. This is what I've had to say about the good of Deja Vu. Now I think it's time we talk about the hurt, and how it brings this song not down, but kind of stabs this song in the heart. So, how... I feel like I've already explained this before, but I guess it's better to reiterate it in case I didn't. But the reason why this section is called Hurt is because I felt that a lot of these elements did not deter me from listening to a song. If I truly dislike a song, I will steer clear of it. But this song, I have such a love for this song that I think it's more like a plea for somebody to hear me, and just maybe a sliver of hope that maybe they could recreate this song. But if they don't, that's also fine too. I'll still listen to the song anyway. But the reason why this song hurts me is because it's so short. And to be honest, I feel like it can be a genuine challenge for an artist to be okay with writing a 2-minute song, because of course writers can use as much time as they want. I mean, I listened to the 10-minute version of All Too Well by Taylor Swift, right? Like, you can use as much time as you need to tell a story arc, but I think there's a specific challenge that comes with writing a 2-minute song, and I've seen it be successful with, like, Cruel Summer by Taylor Swift, Nonsense by Sabrina Carpenter, and several Tate McRae songs such as It's Okay, I'm Okay, and Sports Car, which are quite short. However, for Deja Vu, it doesn't work. And again, in K-pop, there's a few short songs I'm okay with. And if done with intention, a short song doesn't have to be restrictive. In fact, for me, again, short songs aren't an issue, because as long as you develop the song to have what it needs and give it a rich and impactful punch so the audience can enjoy it, I think you can be successful. Like a 2-minute 40 song is okay. Hence why I love Dash by NMIX, because I was so shocked when I searched up the runtime of the song, and it was like 2 minutes and 47 seconds. So again, as long as you put in the details, you can write a short song. But I guess another reason why I dislike Deja Vu's short runtime is because the song is a storytelling song. Again, you can tell a story. Like I Look Through People's Windows by Taylor Swift, right? You can tell she masterfully wrote that, and it was done with great intention. And you know, that even though that song was story heavy, she did a good job in making sure she was able to pack a punch. However, Deja Vu's songwriting, the way it is, the story that they're telling, I think, to me, it deserves a long runtime, like 3 minutes and 30 seconds at most, you could say. It has so much to say. Like, this song has so much to say that I feel like it doesn't get the room to tell its beauty. I feel like it's short for the sake of having a short song, because again, that's the current trend in K-pop, and I know that was a trend in 2023 and 2024. And I don't know if that will be carry forward into this year. And you know, I see bits of it being like those trends pouring into this year, but I don't want to use it as a paintbrush to paint the entire year. And hopefully this trend, it dies down and only happens in the first part of the year. So again, when you read the lyricism, you know that there's something beautiful that's happening. And again, I explained it in my interpretation for you, and it feels like the song was sacrificed for the sake of streaming. And you know, it's so short, and it's understandably streamable, and the song leaves a lot to be desired, and that's what makes it so streamable, so you can go back to it again and again and hopefully find what you've been craving. And again, I feel like there's not even enough lyrical content even in the 2 minute and 50-second runtime. And you know, this song hurts because this song was meant to paint pictures, and we only got a sketch with an attempt of shading by the artist's pencil. And to me, the song is very well produced. I will not lie. However, I feel like there's something I need to point out. I feel like even though it's well produced, I think there's a lack of transitions between the verses and the chorus, and I feel like in order to ham everything into the 2 minute and 50-second runtime, they tend to go relatively quick into each element of the song, and you don't really get the time to kind of, it doesn't get the time to soak into your brain. Again, it's not as heavy in this song, but you can see it's very heavily prevalent in Yeonjun's gum, and it's every time I hear gum, we're going from element to element, like within a matter of seconds, without letting the elements just transition into the next part of the song smoothly. So again, Deja Vu doesn't have that problem as heavily as Gum, but I think it has been kind of like a catalyst for future problems in TxT's music, or solo music. But again, this isn't really a thing that deters me from the song, so yeah. I know that the hurt section was way longer than, I'm not longer, but quite shorter than the good, because I have more good things to say about this song than hurtful things to say. So I decided that it's time for the third section. So this is the reinvention section, and in this section we will be kind of creative. And as you know, I am a writer, and as I've talked about on this channel, that I write stories and music and poetry. However, I've not shown that on this channel, aside from rewriting a bit of Jenny's mantra. However, I have felt the need that the song deserves better, and I feel like, since I'm a writer, I feel like it is my duty to kind of, if I want to see change or something that I want to see in the world creatively, I think it's not my duty, but like, I think I kind of want to do that. So, this is what we're going to do. We're going to give this song, or attempt to make this song over 3 minutes. And I've decided to carry on from the silent gap, which I don't know if anyone like feels bothered by that gap, or like the silence, or if that really improves on your listening and really catches your attention. But I've decided to use that because, even though I didn't mention this in the hurt section, sometimes that silence kind of irks me in some ways. Not always, but since my first couple of listens, it kind of really got to me, but now I'm pretty much used to it. But I feel like I'm going to carry on from the silence and kind of rewrite the song from there, and add a bridge, and now, as a disclaimer, as much as I would love to see another version, or someone kind of reproduce the song to make it over 3 minutes, I know I could try and attempt to reproduce the song in my own vision, but I don't feel like I have the time, or I don't have the time to really do that. So, I don't know. So I feel like, if we were to make this song longer, and again, I'm going to use fan fiction terms, and my version of the song were to become like a genuine canon rewrite, I feel like it would fix the issue of, the transitions, and I think because naturally it gets more time to do its course naturally, I think it would. I think the producers will be able to willingly put more transitions and let the song be a lot more traditional in its structure. So without further ado, here is the rewrite of Deja Vu. So this would be verse 3. Can you hear the silence? This is the sound of my worries when I'm with you. It's like peace is encoded within you. Could your peace save the world? My world? Or are the words I'm telling you feel like deja vu? Maybe I'm just making things up so I can speak us into existence. So, I must ask you, are you my deja vu? I hope you say yes. So I've also decided to write a pre-chorus. Maybe this is all a ruse to force me to find you, to ask you again for the first time if I can be with you. So when the time comes, I hope I can say. And then this is the original chorus, and I decided to add a bridge. I guess I should read the chorus. So, the OG chorus would, in order to add more context to it, it'd be, I remember, in brackets, I'm gonna say brackets because that's easier for me to say, remember, yeah. The answer I finally found. My future is you. Say my name, I hug you tight, as promised on the first day, like deja vu. You're like deja vu. Say it, say it, say it louder. So here's the bridge. You're like my deja vu. I would never want to lose sight of you. In pain and sickness or sadness, I always want to be with you. My vows only belong to you, my deja vu. And then the last chorus, I think it I'm sorry, I cannot speak anymore. It winds up the song beautifully, so I decided to keep that in. I promise you over and over, my future is you. Under the veil of light, I hug you tight, who's shining like a bride. Like deja vu, you're like my deja vu. Say it, say it, say it louder. So yeah, this is what I would rewrite the song to look like. I genuinely loved the original so much that I wanted to keep kind of the same usage of language that was already prevalent in this original song, and I don't know, I had a lot of trouble because the song kind of talks about romance in such a beautiful way that I felt like I couldn't do that. I don't know, there was just like this sensitivity in the original writing that I kind of wanted to carry over. I don't know if I did it that well, but yeah, so this is the rewrite, and you can tell me how I did. So you've made it to the end of the video, and right now the video is looking like it's going to be more than 40 minutes, so I'm going to keep this outro very short. But yeah, Deja Vu by TxT happens to be a song that I will always have on my playlist, and TxT's discography is so beautiful, and there's so much diversity and variety, and I personally, whenever I come across a TxT song, it is a real treat, and, the artistry that goes into this group is immaculate. So, I know I am kind of bad at doing outros because I just kind of cut it off very, very quickly, and I guess all I have to say is thank you for watching this video, and I would appreciate your takes a lot. And I know this video, I know I made a comeback, and I kind of didn't post for a month, but yeah, I'm so sorry that my comeback has been very unstable, or I don't want to use the word unstable, but very inconsistent with how it's being played out. And the Blackpink video, I think it's going to take a couple months. Not a couple months, but I feel like it's going to take a while. So in order to revive the channel and to kind of, I don't know, I just have a lot of passion projects that I want to discuss, and I'm so excited to discuss them with you. So thank you for watching this video, and bye!